Hello everyone and welcome to this session of programming with Python. In this session we will see the concept of Python encapsulation. So let's look at the objectives of our session. We will start by understanding what do we mean by encapsulation. Afterward we will see the concept of public, private and protected members, and afterward we will see how can we access the different private members by the help of public methods and the name mangling method. So let's start our session. So what do we mean by encapsulation? Encapsulation basically refers to bundling the attribute and method within the single unit, or in other words we will say that it encloses the different member such as attribute and method of our class into some kind of protective shield so that we can prevent our members from unauthorized access, can control who can access it and who cannot access it, prevent from accidental modification to our attributes and method. So when we encapsulate our different members in some kind of protective shield, then we do that by categorizing our different members such as method and attribute into three different kinds. So the three different kinds in which we categorize our members are public, private and protected members. So the members which can be accessed anywhere from outside of a class, we say that it is a public member. Similarly, private members are those members which are accessible only within the class, and the protected members are those members which are accessible within the class and its subclass. So how do we create or categorize any member or method or attribute as public, private or protected? Now Python provides us a very unique method of categorizing it. So the method we use for categorizing the different members is the underscore method. So for example, if we have to categorize any attribute as a public member, then we will write no underscore before the name of the variable and it will be considered by Python as a public member. Similarly, if we want to categorize any attribute or method as a protected member, then we will use one underscore before the name of our attribute. And similarly, if we want to categorize attribute or a method as a private member, then we will use two underscore before the attribute name. So let's head over to Python and understand them in detail. So let's say we have a class named Encap, and within Encap class we initialize our function by init method such that it passes self, name and age. Now we will write the attribute name, that is self.name, and store name within this attribute. Another attribute we will define is self.age, and within it we will store our age value. And now we have created our class. Now if we instantiate an object of this class Encap, then we will say that A is equals to Encap, and in the arguments we will write the name, let's say John, and age as our name and age respectively. Now we have instantiated an object of Encap class. Now if we want to access the name, then we will write a dot name and we will run it and we will get John as an output. And similarly, if we write a dot age, then we will get 17 as an output. So why are we able to access the name and age is because the name and age are currently the public attributes, because we haven't used any kind of underscore before the name of the attribute. But if we want to make them private so that we cannot access them outside of class, so we will write underscore double underscore before name. So now it has become some kind of private member. So if I want to access the age a.name, for example, then Python will give us an error that Encap object has no attribute name. And similarly, if I want to access the age, then I will get a age because age is currently still the public member. So this is how we define the public members and private members in Python. Now if we want to access the private members from within outside of our class, then we can use two different kinds of method for that purpose. The first method is making a public method to access the private attribute. So how do we do it? We do it by defining some kind of a method which would be public in nature. That means we can use or call that function from outside of our class. So we will write, let's say, view, and it will pass self, and within this view function we will just print over the name and the age attributes. So we will write self dot double underscore age. Now if I write that we want to access the different attributes, so we will write a dot view, and if we will call this function, then we have a error, we missed something. We have to write double underscore age because we are making age as a private member. So now if I run it again, we get John and 17. So despite age being a private member, we are still able to access it because we have passed it within a public method, and since the method is public, we can access it from outside of our class. The another method we use is the name mangling method. The name mangling method is used to access the private member by using this syntax. So first we write the name of our object, followed by single underscore, followed by the name of our class in which our attribute is defined, followed by double underscore, and followed by the name of attribute which we want to call. So for example, if I remove this public method and if I want to access this private member age, then we will write first the name of our object, that is a in our case, followed by dot sign, followed by single underscore and the name of our class, which is encap in our case, and followed by double underscore and the name of our variable or attribute, which is age in our case. And now if I run it, we get 17 as an output. So this is how we access the private member outside of a class. So what are the advantages of encapsulation? Encapsulation basically helps us with data handling. It provides a security because it prevents unauthorized access of our different methods. It makes our code very simple, and it improves the readability of our code. So that's all for this session. Hope you enjoyed it. In the next session, we will see the other concepts of Python. Thank you.